My field placement is at Post Oak Elementary School in a first grade classroom. This classroom is a Chinese immersion school, meaning that the students spend half the day in normal instruction and half the day learning Chinese, as well as math instruction in Chinese. My teacher has two groups of students and I get to work with both, although I only did my literacy lessons with one class group. Prior to TE 405, I believed that individualized writing and reading time would be hard to achieve in instruction because I wasn't sure how to implement it with different levels of writers and readers, as well as provide enough time and attention to the students who I knew needed specific instruction. I believe that specific individualized instruction is definitely attainable because of the implementation of individualized assessment and specific teaching points that can be adapted for specific needs of students. Also, conferences within writing allow for students to share their work and for teachers to help them grow in certain areas of their writing. My experiences in classroom discussions, field placements, and with course texts has greatly increased my knowledge about literacy teaching as well as impacted the way I think about teaching. Lessons within our class were so thought out and specific to tasks we needed to work on or practice, as well as things we could use in our own teaching. This modeling of really thought out and student-centered instruction was so beneficial to my learning and helped me see how important it is to be organized and have clear learning goals for the lesson. In my field placement, I learned the importance of asking students inquiry questions and building discussion from their ideas and prior knowledge. The book helped me learn a lot of important practices within literacy and made me notice the process that is reading and writing. As I teach, I will be aware of this process, be specific in my teaching, and make sure to work on figuring out what steps students are at and give them specific support. I was able to learn about my students as writers by watching my students write during their writing center time. They would write stories and I would walk around and would help with words, help students think of ideas on what to write about, help students revise, and have students read their stories to me. I also got to take students out of the classroom and help them work on opinion pieces, descriptive stories, and create I think, I wonder, and I see statements. Key aspects that I would include in my writer's workshop are modeling, anchor charts, relevant and interesting examples, revision, sharing, and publishing. A typical day would include a mini lesson with student interaction and then time for students to use what they learned to write about their own topic and use our teaching point as a guide. An example of a teaching point I would use in my own instruction is, good writers use detail to give the reader more information and really make them feel like they know everything that is happening. In order to do this, they use descriptive words and give specific information. During writing instruction, my students will be engaged in the modeling portion and will be provided with something to look at, whether it be a book, website, video, my own writer's journal, or an anchor chart. During discussion about the teaching point, I will ask students questions and have them be a part of modeling. Some of the things that I would want students to work on and would create mini lessons to model are providing examples and modeling how to do certain aspects of revision, how to start and end sentences using connecting words in our writing, and how to add details. I will also make sure to ask if students have questions of me before I let them work on their own pieces. During writing time, I will have students quiet and working on their writing. In the future, I will pay specific attention to areas where students need more instruction and create exciting and interesting literacy lessons that are relevant to students' likes as well as needs. I will remember the process that is writing and use the Writer's Workshop format to build my students' writing skills. In my reading instruction, I will pay attention to the modified cognitive model and make sure to help students master the beginning stages in order to move towards reading comprehension. I will make sure to create a classroom that is helpful as well as collaborative and will provide my own literacy works to help motivate my students and let them know teachers are learners too.